Well, hello and welcome everyone to our AWS partner session. My name is Alexander Rüttinger. I'm the CTO of Senshare, and I'll be hosting this EcoFear Day session together with Marin Mamic, who is EMEA ISV lead at Amazon. So welcome, Marin, and maybe you can explain a little bit this very complicated title.
Thanks, Alexander. So as you mentioned already, so my name is Marin, and I'm working in AWS for roughly 4.5 years already. And officially what I'm in charge of, or what my role is, I'm leading the EMEA-wide software vendor segment in Amazon Web Services. That means that we work with a lot of companies that are developing software and that are offering their software as a service or managed service on top of AWS.
Great. Yeah, well, I myself just recently started at Senshare as CTO. I'm aware that AWS and Senshare already have a very long history of collaboration with many important projects like Land's End or Jaguar running on AWS. And on top of that, I'm very happy to announce that we're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year, which is really great and a very long time. And I'm looking forward to collaborating with you and with AWS more intensively in the future as well. So Marin, at AWS, you're building the most customer-centric partner community in the world, actually. Can you tell us a little bit about it and what the goals are that AWS is pursuing?
Sure thing. So you probably heard many times already that Amazon is a customer-centric organization or a customer-centric company, and AWS is no difference there as well. So we really try to build a whole partner ecosystem to be also customer-centric and to accelerate all the customers' digital innovation and digital journeys and transformation that the customers are on. If you look at our partner channel, Senshare, as you mentioned, 10 years is already, we are together on this journey for a decade. Senshare and the other partners, you're extending the whole reach of the AWS cloud, and you're providing this entire feature-rich experience. So this leads to end customers having more choice. And this is actually what really helps them along all of the digital innovation, digital transformation journeys. Now, we work also with our partners by focusing on specific solutions and specific software vendors like Senshare is, and we offer all kind of different engagement models. So we work on the technical level, but we work also on the world-class market approach, and we really try jointly to differentiate the solution in the market. So I cannot be happier to really share this excitement about the 10 years of working together and marking this 10 year of our partnership. We really learned a lot from each other. We worked a lot together, and I'm super happy that end customers, all of you in the audience today, are actually having a chance to benefit from the entire decade of us working together.
Great. Now, while a lot of our customers are already in the cloud, for many others, it's still difficult to make a decision on how to move into the cloud. There are a lot of worries maybe around security whatsoever, and they are reluctant or don't have a sufficient experience yet as to what the necessary steps would be to move into the cloud, or at least have some kind of a hybrid setup. So from your point of view, what's the best way to start? Or can you share best practices and suggestions for our clients how they could make use or have an initial kickoff at moving into the cloud?
It's a very good question, and the one that we are getting more and more around the world. We do see that many of either large enterprises or smaller companies, many of them really understand the benefits of the public cloud. And the question is not if, the question is more how, exactly what you're asking now. So we have observed, I mean, we are doing this for 14 years nearly. So we have observed some patterns that I could share with you, how to implement really the cloud first policies. So what we have seen, some of the approaches were to be very early on declaring the cloud first strategy. Some of them were creating the really, really detailed business cases. Some of them were calculating TCOs or ROIs, etc. So what we have learned over all of these years is that there is no one size fits all, and there is no right or wrong approach. Typically, every business is a unique and has its unique set of challenges and opportunities and so on. But what definitely is a good place to start is to select a project or a few projects to really understand how to leverage the whole cloud. The cloud is not really about technology only. It's really technology, how the technology will enable the business needs and how the technology will enable certain business outcomes. Now, what's really important, that's what I was mentioning with this, select a project or two, select projects that are really delivering value to the business. And then once when you do that, when you realize these initial values and initial benefits, then the second stage will be to make some foundational investments. And those foundational investments will be more to scale and to broaden that goodness and those benefits to the broader organization. One of the best practices that I could definitely recommend is establishing the Cloud Center of Excellence team, because that team then becomes a core of what your company can do in the cloud, and it becomes a core of knowledge sharing and innovation and so on. Now, as you build your knowledge, as you build your experience and foundational knowledge and so on, it's going to typically be much easier to migrate what you have currently on premises to the cloud. And this often starts with the simple things like application discovery and building business cases and so on, and then it's followed by the individual application migrations. Now, if I look at Zenshare, if I look at what you do, the digital asset management is super fit for the cloud workload due to various things. But this business benefit that the customers are getting has to be at the center, front and center of the whole cloud migration. And this is going to then optimize the cost. This is going to increase the agility and all the other benefits that the customers will see from it.
You picked up an important point. Of course, we're all about universal content management and getting the best value out of that, having a central source of truth for my digital assets. And we're seeing this as becoming strategically important for lots of companies in regards to their digital transformation. But to be more explicit, how do you think that business could actually benefit from using the cloud when it comes to content management needs?
I think you're mentioning a very good point, because if we think about digital transformation, and many of our customers are facing that challenge and transforming, even though that's a very stretchy term, we are aware of it, but digital transformation is not possible without digital asset management. You need to manage all of your digital assets to be able to do things in a digital way. I mean, it sounds a bit complicated, but it's actually much simpler than it is. So when you think about the traditional content management systems, they use many resources that, instead of really increasing the efficiency and increasing the business benefits, they can become cost intensive, labor intensive, and they can actually lower the whole satisfaction of the customers, and they can really create some pains in the organization. Like if I just think about the basic storage or collaboration needs and so on, that can become quite intensive. And I don't think that a lot of your customers are in the core business of managing storage arrays or thinking about if the network line is good or bad or anything like this.
They just want to manage the assets. That's all. They don't care about the underlying.
We have a good let's say phrase that we use, and that's undifferentiated heavy lifting, which means you could manage your storage array and you could do it really, really well. But why would you actually want to do it? Because you're not in a business of managing storage array. You're in a business of using that digital assets, and that's what you need for your business. So the difference between keeping the lights on and really investing in innovation and so on, and I know this is the story that we've talked in IT for years, but this is especially true, and especially in use case such as Zenshare and digital asset management. This is the true differentiation between keeping the lights on and thinking about these basics and infrastructure and so on, versus using the service and using all the goodness and all the expertise that you are providing. That's really bringing the true business value of agility and collaboration, pace of innovation, and so on.
So AWS provides the heavy lifting, but what makes it the ideal platform for Accenture and for our product and our clients?
So I'm really happy to see how many of our customers how fast and how many of customers are adopting AWS Cloud. We provide the flexibility and reliability and high performance. And also what's very, very important, you mentioned it before, security. And that is required by many customers. And also if you think about, different industries have a different needs. There is also regulations sometimes and so on. And this is where we all meet our customers where they need us. We have many services. We have close to 200 different services, and you're using a lot of those to set up applications, to scale up and scale down and manage peak loads and so on. I mean, typical thing is launching of the marketing campaign. And then when you launch the marketing campaign, at that moment, you need more IT resources than usual. And AWS provides that flexibility to say, we are here, we have a very stable platform, we have a very secure platform, and you're going to pay only based on your usage. So these are some of the benefits that we are bringing.
Okay. Now, could you elaborate a little bit more on the security aspects? Because I think this is something that is of a major concern. My clients are entrusting their valuable resources into something in space that is not tangible to them.
Absolutely.
So how does AWS address that and alleviate any concerns that might be on the client side?
Absolutely valid question. And security, we typically say security is job zero at AWS. So when you think about what do we mean by that, we architect our systems, we manage our systems, we operate them, maintain them, etc., all with security as the number. So literally job zero, first thing that we do in everything that we plan. Now, when you think about how does that reflect to your and the end customer experience, we have something that we call the shared responsibility model. And that's where we take care of the security of the cloud, and you, as Accenture, you're taking care of the security in the cloud. And with that synergy and with that expertise from both sides, I think the end customers can be really satisfied in terms of how high of a norm are we meeting. If you think about these high norms, we have a lot of regulated industries. We have a lot of banking or, different healthcare or, different other different industries that all run on AWS and that are all secure. Now, we use the same principles and we use the same hardware and software to operate all of our business. And whatever we have for us, we share with our customers and also with you as our partners. So this whole chain of security is really tight, and this is backed by a deep set of cloud security tools. So we have tremendous amount of security and compliance and certification tools, etc., that gives you all the keys to how secure you want to run your environment in the cloud.
Interesting. So I take, AWS is taking care of all of the security issues. There are operational aspects as well, because we interoperate with these systems too. And of course, the Accenture platform has been optimized for cloud hosting on AWS. And as part of this, we've been reviewed by AWS and have the appropriate solution badge. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about this review process and what value it entails and what it means for us as an ISV?
Correct. And that's a very good question, because when you think about what assurance the end customers have that, from the technical perspective, that your solution is really meeting the high bars, that's what we set together, a couple of years ago. And we said, okay, we need this badge that you call it. On one hand side, customers trust you because you have the industry expertise, the processes, like all of that is already built in your software. And then on the other hand side, what we provide, we say it's a foundational technical review. And that foundational technical review really assures the customers that your solution is meeting the specific set of requirements that AWS well-architected framework puts as a bar. And that relates to security, to reliability, to operational excellence. And as you are already the advanced technology partner, and this is where you have obtained not only this certification, but you already got additional 2 competencies. And I want to make sure that we, mention that as well, because I think that's testament to how strong you are already in the whole technology sphere. So you are already having the retail and the digital customer experience competencies. Yeah. And that's not easy to get. We have a very high bar. So you have demonstrated already the technical proficiency and also how to build the offering on AWS and how to really architect it along the best practices. Now, why your customers are profiting from it is because they can be sure that they are teaming up with a very innovative company and a company that's going to help them be successful in the very complex IT environment of today, and also keep that way in the future.
Great, Martin, thank you very much for these insights and the details and how AWS provides an ideal cloud environment for operating Accenture. We will now move on to our next part, which is Ask the Expert, where Maren and myself, of course, will be happy to answer your questions regarding AWS. Thank you very much for your attention and looking forward to your questions. Take care.
Thanks, Alexander. Looking forward to all the questions.
Thank you, Maren.